Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining this Young Bioeconomy Entrepreneurship Initiative. Dr. Tony Callaghan is from Niskus Biotec, where he works as the Chief Operations Officer. So thanks for joining us, Tony. Could you please tell us a bit about Niskus Biotec and how it relates to the circular bioeconomy, please?
Hi, Kevin. Yeah, so Niskus Biotech we're working with fungi, and we've a term mycovalorization. So we add value to basically low value side streams, and we do that through fungal fermentation. Primarily, we're working with solid state fermentation, and basically what we do, Kevin, we grow our fungi, our mycelium, into solid substrates, and the fungi are the miniature factories, and they convert the polymers, the polysaccharides, and the proteins within the substrate and produce fungal biomass. They're also producing lots of bioactives, protein, beta glucans, and nutraceuticals, things like this. So they are mycovalorizing or valorizing the original substrate, and we're primarily focusing on developing a platform which will conduct this mycovalorization process. So basically the platform will create the ideal environment for the fungus, and we're aiming to create optimal mycelial growth in as short a time span as possible, and to get the product in and get the product out as quick as possible.
Okay, very good. Thanks for explaining. And so what would you say inspires you with your work at Niskus Biotech?
Yeah, I guess without sounding too cheesy, Kevin, the fungi themselves are quite inspiring. They're quite well, obviously they're ubiquitous in our environment. They're ancient, and they literally have a lot of the tools that we need to solve the big challenges in food, in bioenergy, in medicine. So these fungi, a lot of the fungi we're actually working with, I've isolated myself, in the local forests, and these are common medicinal fungi. So I would say that they're quite inspiring in terms of, just their robustness and flexibility to grow on multiple substrates.
Okay, great answer. Thank you. Yeah, I feel the same way about fungi as well. And could you describe a typical working day at Niskus Biotech, please?
It's a difficult question, that one. There's not so much a typical day. We're not we formed last year, so it's been all hands on deck. But I guess a typical day might be some media production in the morning, loading up autoclaves and media preparation. While that's working, I might work on some presentations, or perhaps I might have a meeting with a potential investor, and then it's back into the lab and pouring plates and subculturing culture collection, and maybe then in the afternoon it might be actual setting up a production run or something like that. So
Okay.
we're quite we're vertically integrated at Niskus, and we are we're all involved in all aspects of the business in that way.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so you're saying that Niskus formed last year. Could you
Yeah.
give us a bit of background on yourself before you joined Niskus, such as other roles that you've had, as well as education as well, please?
Yeah, so I suppose I might as well start at the beginning.
Hmm.
Well, start not quite at the beginning, but at my
Hmm.
university career, I studied microbiology in Aberystwyth University in mid Wales. I started doing marine biology, truth be told, and quickly changed to microbiology. I was quite drawn to the microbiology aspect of marine biology, and that triggered something. Um, I I met my mentor quite early on at Aberystwyth, and would have done projects with him during the summers on various fungal fungal projects, all fungal related. He's a mycologist there, Dr. Gareth Griffith, and I suppose that sparked my interest. And time went on. I met a visiting professor from India, and I managed to get invited to India to undergo some training on how to cultivate a particular group of fungi called anaerobic fungi. These are the fungi that live in the guts of herbivores. This work then led on to my PhD, which I started in 2010. And that was on these anaerobic fungi, a lot of culturing and next-gen sequencing and DNA barcoding. Finished that 2014. And then I worked in Germany in biogas after that, after doing a short postdoc after my or a short bit of postdoc work after my PhD. But I worked in Germany in biogas in a governmental research institution there. And we were working to exploit the same fungi to improve biogas production. So after that, I moved home. I worked in the mushroom industry, Kevin, for 4 years or so. And I suppose there I was involved in all aspects of the business, from the substrate production to the actual sale of the finished product. And that's where I really cut my teeth in the commercial world. And yeah, it was a great experience, and I learned a lot there. And then yeah, Niskus came along, and we formed Niskus in late last year. So that's been my focus since.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Sounds like an interesting career so far, anyway. So yeah, and so would you have any? What challenges would you say that young people might face, or young entrepreneurs might face in sustainability or the bioeconomy space?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, I suppose keeping broad, keeping your experience broad, and not getting put in a box in your career too early. I think it's great to do multiple things and to get multiple experience, and to meet multiple people from different points of view, and then you can apply that in a maybe a more dynamic way, where, like, in my brief experience in academia, people tend to get focused too much, and maybe they don't understand some other aspects, that some of the larger, more applied aspects that that if you get too focused on a particular topic, sometimes it's difficult to see innovative solutions where it might be quite obvious to someone who has a broader experience.
Okay, thanks, Tony. And so for my final question, I just have, what advice would you give to students or young people trying to get into the bioeconomy space and maybe looking to become an entrepreneur?
Okay, so I guess the bioeconomy space I'll take first. I'd say a good piece of advice maybe would be to talk to people. I mean, you'd be amazed the wealth of knowledge that technicians and local farmers, local people, older people within the business. I found it wonderful how open people are to give advice, and I've actually never asked someone for advice and not been given good advice. And I think there's a two-way trade-off there. I mean, yeah. So basically, I would say that don't be afraid to ask for advice and to ask for help, and just to talk to people. You can start a conversation. You're just maybe interested in something that you don't know a lot about, and if you ask questions, quite often people are always willing to talk, and people are often, you will learn something that you never expected to learn from that conversation.
Okay, that's very good. That's all the questions I have for you, Tony. Thanks very much for joining the call. It's been very informative, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon. So thanks very much, Tony. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.